All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is Chris from T3 Handicapping, and I'm here to go over the card for Tuesday, November 9th, 2021, from Indiana Grand with you. It's closing weekend. We're hoping to go out with a bang. If you want to follow my picks, you can follow me on Twitter at HandicappingT3. You can also find us on Facebook by searching T3 Handicapping, and you can like our page and get access to a lot of the same material there. And then, as always, if you want to purchase our picks or any of our handicapping products, you can do so on our website, t3handicapping.weebly.com. And you're definitely going to want to make sure you go there on Tuesday because I got a special little thing there for you as well. So, without further ado, let's jump into a recap of Monday as well as a look ahead to Tuesday. So if we take a look here, I'm going to actually shrink this up for you here because with my little crawl there, you can't see everything there. So I'm going to pop this up just a little bit, just to make sure we can actually see what we're looking at. And you can probably already tell that the exciting news is that products are going to be free on Tuesday. So I had a pretty good day on Wednesday, but I am trying out some new numbers, some new material that I think refines things a little bit better. I've been beta testing it in the background for a couple of days here, and I like the way that things calibrate a little bit better. So with those tweaks, I wanted to give you the opportunity to have the product for free, and that way, if things don't go well, I don't have to feel bad that I changed the system on you. It's just a couple tweaks here and there. I found it, like I said, to be most helpful and to really make things a little bit even better than what they have been. But at the same time, I'm as a thank you, but also as an insurance policy in case things don't go well the first day I actually roll it out. We're going to go ahead and offer all products for free. No coupon code, no discount needed. Just go get the products right off the website, Tuesday only. It's closing weekend at Indiana Grand. Like I said, we're going to close it out with a bang. So this is a look at how we did on Monday. We had one best bet. That was the number 2 Consider in race 6. The horse did show, ran fairly well actually. Was coming on pretty well at the end in that race. So a pretty good showing for that horse. Overall, it was a day that for me playing the pick 3 was frustrating. I played doubles and pick 3s. This daily double right here was a great hit. Except that both the 2 and the 5 horse scratched at the gate. So that went from what was going to be like a 4x on my money down to basically about a break even with all the different scratches and all the consolation payouts. And the way that I had Dutched up all the doubles using my A selections, I was set to just about, like I said, have a 4x on my money, and instead I ended up with a break even. So that was frustrating. I had the pick 3 coming into this one and missed completely. Then I came through and had a double here. It paid out a whopping $3. Had it a few times, but not good enough with Dutching. And then here, had some more doubles, but again, kind of hit light. And then here, I just got absolutely train wrecked. I had pick 3s and doubles. A huge run from the number 9 in this race. And I went back and looked because I think it's important to always go back and see what you did and see if there's anywhere you can improve for next time. I went back and I looked at my results page, and I went to see sort of how that 9 horse could have won. And in reality, when I went back and I looked at the ranks of the horse, there was really no explanation for it other than the horse did come up as the second best horse in our against flow category. So that's something to pay attention to, especially because I knew that was a race that was subject to be a little bit deeper. Should have paid a little bit more attention to that. Still don't know if I would have included the horse, but something to think about. Like I said, Tuesday, as you're playing Indiana Grand, everything is free. So Finger Lakes, Indiana Grand, the all track package, it costs you $0, 0 cents. Just go put it in your cart and you'll immediately get access to the download. You'll get the pick sheet for free for both tracks. Those will be on page 1, and you'll get the race summaries. Today, as I go over Tuesday's card, I'm going to go over the early prognostications from Indiana, but go back in, repurchase go back into your downloads and re-download as we're about an hour out from first post, and you'll get the updates of everything you see here in the video with late scratches included. So once they get through those scratches, I should say once early scratches are released. I don't do anything if there's a scratch. Like today when the 2 and the 5 came out, I didn't alter that on the pick sheet. I just left that as is, so that you know that within an hour to post time you can download that and have all the most up to date information. So again, I strongly encourage you, get it for free today. You don't have to use any access code or anything like that. Just go in, get the information, and use it. Play around with it, see what you can do, and see if you can go ahead and have yourself a day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's jump into Tuesday's card. Now I will say Monday's card was one, if you watch my pick 5 video, where I wasn't entirely thrilled. I thought you were going to have to be really spready. I thought it was going to get really expensive. I think I'm going to attack, if things don't change much, I think I'm going to attack Tuesday's card with a little bit more vigor. As you can see, just the preliminary indicators are that things are a little bit thinner on the top end today, and that should allow me to play a little bit harder through some things. So we do have 8 thoroughbred races, only 8 races on the card, no quarter horses on this day. So let's jump right into things, and I'm going to try and kind of use what I learned today to help with trying to figure out how we play tomorrow. So here in this first race, I've got some different options. My top rated horse is actually the 5 Royals Girl, and you can see why. Some obvious reasons to like this horse. But one of the things that you'll also notice that I think is important to pay attention to is when you're looking at the T3 grid, which is over here. This horse rates in the top position in these 3 categories here. So even though this horse rates as the top horse in 4 categories, 3 of them are very secondary. To me, when I'm looking at my primary bet angles, the ones that I'm looking at are speed, class, rating, and form. I know a lot of times people put pace in there as well. I think pace is so subjective and really hard to land on. I agree it's important, but it's just not one of my pillars. So really, this horse only lands in one of the pillars. And so that to me immediately is something that, even though it looks really good on paper, I actually prefer like the 1 horse, for example, who rates well on speed and stamina. The 3 horse actually does as well. This looks like a more competitive race than it would at first blush. But nevertheless, I do still definitely want to use Royals Girl. I think Royals Girl is going to outrun the odds. I'm not sure that it's going to be better than Zoom Up. But certainly you can see that front running style is going to be there, and then Zoom Up is going to be sort of right in that second flight. One thing I will say that I did notice today is speed was not holding very well. It seemed like there was definitely an idea that speed was good, and that you wanted to use speed. And we saw a couple races where the horses got just absolutely burnt on the front end. So I don't know if the track is tiring and setting up for mid-pack, or if it's just a case of, because there has been such a speed bias, that everybody's trying to take advantage of it, and now they're just going way too fast and they can't come up with a run late. But I would say, honestly, if I'm going through this, I mean, I think my grades are pretty accurate here. Those would be the 5 horses that I would want to use. This Tonapita is not one that I really want to use. I would try and find creative ways to use all the rest of them. But as I'm looking here, it's hard because the 6 rates out in some decent categories, but I still think I prefer the 3 in that category as well. So the first race is pretty spready, but in the first race, you're really only going to be dealing with doubles and pick 3s. There's not a lot of other options to go with there. Moving on to race 2 here, a pretty evenly distributed board up on the top end, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all rating out really well in the top categories. But I am really interested in Ready for More, particularly if in the first race we see speed not holding up. And I don't typically love closers in 6 furlong races. But that being said, I mean, I do think the top 2 are definitely the ones you want to play through. But I do think the 5 is interesting if you're going to look for a price. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that because the 2 is at essentially 6 to 5, and Rookwood is at even money, 8 to 1 looks like a good price. But when when push comes to shove, it's actually only the third choice. But to me, it's those three, and then the rest, it's really hard to say. I mean, obviously the four would be the next one you'd want to use, but the three does have good breeding. And could potentially spring the upset as well. So this one seems like an open race as well. Um, but I think, probably the one and the two, if they're taking money, would be the place that I would go. In race number three, this is a race where I have a best bet. It's Short Summer Dress. You can see Short Summer Dress rates out top in speed, which is good, but I always like it when the horse rates out in speed and some other type of category. So here you're seeing that the horse also has the best record at the distance, the best pace numbers. That's going to be early pace in this situation. And then also has the best rating here as well. These are pretty solid horses. So to me, when I see that, that's a real indication that we've got a strong contender on our hands. I'm going to be probably looking to play doubles and pick threes through this horse. The problem is at 4 to 5 on the morning line, I'm not sure exactly what price I'm going to get. Things should be pretty moderate on the front end for this one, and I think we'll have no problem. Probably this one and the six look like they're going to be pretty evenly matched on the front end and could maybe hold on. And the two is a little bit interesting to me as well, who get the best of race flow as well as having good pace numbers. So I think it's going to be four. I'll probably use maybe 4, 6, and 2, or maybe 4, 6, and 3. I notice I have a 4, 6, 3 on this line here. What's the three at? 2.5 to 1. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that very much. So, maybe I would look to play something like 4, 2, and 1. So I might play kind of this bet line right there, and see if I can hit. This one seems reasonable. I just don't like the prices on all the horses. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in that race. Again, probably not looking to get super involved or go super deep in a lot of things, just because right now, as I'm going through and as I'm seeing who I like in these races, I'm also finding that I have a lot of chalk, and that's not really something that is going to provide a lot of value, and I'm going to be just trying to scrape by to break even. So now I come here. This is a race that I think is really interesting because the 7 horse alternate nights rates out at 2.5 to, or sorry, has odds of 5 to 2, and comes in with 100 points, gets an A+ grade, and has 6 points on the rest of the field. So in terms of just metrics, looks like the horse to beat. You can see on form looks good, on stamina, and on class. All things that I love to see. But I actually think that the one that I'm most interested in is right here in the 1, Baby Vincent. And there's a couple reasons why. First of all, I don't think this horse is going off 5 to 1. I think we're probably going to be more in the 3 to 1, maybe even 5 to 2, fighting for favoritism perhaps with alternative nights. Look at what we have up here. If we look here, this is supposed to be a 14 pace race. Now you can see every horse has an established run style, so that's not a product of inexperience. But we've got a slow pace that rewards front runners. This is the only front runner in the group. Looks to be 4 points clear of Overjoy, who's a mid-pack runner. So not only is this horse, in theory, faster on the front end than this one is, but it's also a horse that prefers the front end, whereas number 2, Overjoy, is likely to sit back. Alternate Nights is our next one. Well, that one's a closer. That one doesn't like to be up near the lead. So it's not until we get to this one at 96, which is, we're talking now 7 points off of the leader in the pace department. This feels like a lone speed. And if they can get number 1 to rate at 5 to 1, this should be a horse that can win fairly easily. This is probably going to be my key separator. So I really like in this situation utilizing the 1 to create distance from everybody that's going to hammer alternate nights. My fear is that what I'm seeing is what a lot of people are seeing, and they're going to end up getting bet way down. Now in this one, this is a pretty straightforward. It is very unusual to see a horse that owns this much of our tic-tac-toe board here over on this side. You can see it's got a mid-pack running style, but it's a moderate pace, so that's not super concerning. Even so, it does have the best pace. So although it's not typically a front runner, I think we could definitely see it very near the front. To me, this is a 2 and move on. If you have a strong opinion, I think the 3 is interesting. I think the 7 is interesting. Uh, I don't really think they're going to win. That's just my opinion. The 2 looks far and away better on numbers, on class. That's where I'm going to go, and I think we'll be fine. So this is to me a single. If you're playing a pick five, pick six, I'd single Kid Shalene. If you're looking to make a huge score, I would single Eagle Cap and pitch out Kid Shalene and pray for a miracle. But it's horse racing, miracles do happen. Usually for everybody but you. It just seems to be the case. So I'm still a little bitter after the Friday Breeders' Cup. Um, Moving on to race number 6 here, we've got a class level 8 going 6 furlongs on the dirt. And you can see this one to me goes through 3 horses. It's the 3, it's the 7, it's the 8. Macho Alegre, I'm not really interested in. I think you're going to have horses like Compass Point, maybe even Remember Him, just being out on the front end and being able to clear off. So to me, this is a race where you're going to go 3, 7, 8. You're just going to kind of let the visuals speak for you, and really take you where you need to go. I know that as a moderate front runner, this one does have, among the best numbers, but I'm just not sure that I'm real confident in that one's ability to outduel some of these horses. I mean, if it's setting up for off the pace types, then I like Compass Point and I like Akamai. If it's setting up for a front runner, then I don't necessarily trust Mucho Alegre to be there, and then it sets up for Remember Him. So 3, 7, 8 for me right now, pre-scratch. Moving on to race number 7, it's our penultimate race. One of my favorite things here when you see that Indiana Grand is running class level 22s. This means we are digging down in the bottom of the barrel, giving those low-level claimers or maiden claimers, we're giving them a chance to get their legs burnt out one last time here before the meet closes up. Looks to be a moderate pace, which I typically don't like. I have found in general that the lower class of horse, the more speed holds. And I think the real reason for that is these are horses that are typically not super successful, and so they're just not good at passing. And so if you can find a horse that's going to get out on the front end and be clear, it's usually a horse you want to go with. And that's why when I look here, I've got a horse that's top in speed, top in class, top in pace against a horrible field. And so for me, this is going to be as simple as use the 8 and then move on. I'm not really interested in the 5 all that much. And I know the 5 rates out well in a lot of categories. I'm very concerned about this. I don't know if this is going to be the right thing. It's a short race. It's horses that don't really do a lot of passing. I think if I'm looking for somebody to come late, I don't really have good pace numbers on the 4, although the speed is close, so I might look at using this one. Otherwise, I think you might want to take a look. To me, Sky Liberty should be the second choice here, just because of the type of horse we're dealing with. So I'm going to be through the 8, but I would also consider using the 3 and the 4. I don't know if I can really consider the 5 in this level. Coming from off the pace, just not sure that's really where I want to be going. And then finally, closing out our day here, we're going to go class level 9. They're going over 8 furlongs. This one does look to be very, very quick, but for very, very good horses. I tend to side with the horses that rate out the best in these types of races, just because I think that matters. We've got Timeless Rose, who's a closer. Certainly looks like is going to get enough pace with Nothing But Flowers in the race. You've got Amazing Gal. Wellington Wonder tends to get into it. You can see that's confirmed by our pace numbers. Timeless Rose is going to be sitting a ways back. My concern here is that if Amazing Gal can't keep up, if Amazing Gal is cheap speed, then this horse may not be able to get there. So I want to have an option that's closer to the front, that's viable. And to me, the option is the number 2, Nothing But Flowers, at 4.5 to 1. Now, if this pace doesn't materialize the way I think it will, then this horse should be in a pretty prime position to get there. The only thing is I don't like the inside draw. It seems like the outside today was where you wanted to be, with most of the horses that were passing on the outside getting up for first, and the horses to the inside losing the battle. But that's subject to change. They're not supposed to get any rain in the area, so should dry out any moisture and get that inside rail running decent for Indy. So I'm going to go probably 1-2 here. I'm not going to go much deeper than that. Otherwise, I'm jumping into another closer. I'm jumping into an off the pace type that I don't project to get as good a run of things as the one. So certainly has a chance, but I'm just not going to go that deep. So right now, pre-scratch, this is kind of where I see the card headed. Obviously, like I said, I will go in and I will update all of our content once scratches come out. But again, tomorrow, both Finger Lakes and Indiana Grand completely free. So please go to our website, put it in your cart, check out, and you will get the product free of charge. Come back an hour before post. Make sure you download the final copy. The file will be labeled final for you, so that you know you've got the most up-to-date product and you're ready to go. And then you'll be ready and on your way to crush it at Finger Lakes and Indiana Grand. We'll be back on Wednesday, Indiana Grand, Finger Lakes, and Churchill. I'm super excited for Churchill this weekend. A horse that I'm part owner in is running again. I mentioned him in an earlier video, so look out for Rye Humor at Churchill this weekend. We're looking forward to having him try and get another victory here for us. He's been a productive horse for the stable, and we're looking to build on that. So exciting week ahead, even though we're in the lull after the Breeders' Cup. Good luck to you on your Tuesday plays from Finger Lakes and Indiana Grand. Cash those tickets.